Hello, Pat. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Doing great. It's snowy here and
Hmm,
beautiful.
beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate you. And you see, Pat, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, Pat, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest that in yourself. And oftentimes, but I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I used the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it and the leaves are all dry. So I just I
Mhm.
just I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Pat, just recently I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, Pat. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a it was such a lovely experience that day, and I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing part that you are today. That alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your philosophies, your insights, the impact your work is having, and now you are offering your solutions, but this stuff's so beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Pat is doing. And not only me now, because I don't want to look selfish, and even with the audience. And here we are today, the amazing Pat. So thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elijah could do about it. Thanks so much, Pat.
Well, thank you, Elisha. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, amazing. So let's get started. You see, I am quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge alone, Pat, but the application of it. And you see, Pat, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me, even to the
Mhm.
listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the incredible Pat on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, Pat, yeah, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So those folks trust me for quality, high opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Pat, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Pat, let's get started with your introduction. talk to us about your personal or your professional journey. Because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Pat got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Pat,
Okay.
over to you.
I'm going to be very short shrift about myself personally because I'm part of a bigger community and
Mm,
I want to make sure that everybody gets included in that. Personally, I am a career professional. I have, I worked first in banking and then moved into what's known as management consulting. And I worked around the world in different cultures with different people. And what that means is that companies primarily would hire me to solve a problem. And problem solving in the technique that I worked in was primarily starts with listening to what people want to do better, what's driving them crazy, different ways to go about solving a problem. And most of the time, and this translates into why I created this process for single parents, most of the time people don't know where to start. So just giving people a starting point on approaching a problem can take away a lot of the anxiety that might be around whatever issue they're facing. Um, I had a very long career in doing that and became a single parent 27 years ago when my daughter, who's now a scientist, was born. And I'm like, oh, I've got a problem here. I'm going to do this all by myself. Well, you sort of muddle through with the help of your friends and everyone else, and you get there and you get to the goal. And in my case, it was raising a child that was self-sustaining, felt good about herself, and could engage in healthy relationships. And she moved out about, no, oh, she was so around the pandemic, she went to university. And guess what? I have all this time on my hands now. So lo and behold, not long after she went to university, we got something called lockdown here, the pandemic in 2020. So then I really had time on my hands and I'm not very good at dealing with open time. I always have to fill it. And what I started to do is contribute to an online community of 470,000 parents, single parents around the world. And it was eye opening for me. My first job was just to go in there and keep the creeps out. That was pretty easy. And then I'd start to see questions. People would ask, how do I? And I went, oh, I know that one. I know that one. They'd say, and then they'd ask another question is, how do you feel about? And all these parents would come on and I'd say, oh, I know that one. I know that one. And really what it was is I started to use my moderation skills from my business career to work in this community and really understand what were the issues confronting parents. And I had not only the business skill from being a long-term consultant, but also I had 20 some years at that point of raising a daughter on my own. And when I say I'm part of a larger community, those 470,000 parents informed a
wow.
lot of what I see. And what I saw was universal themes coming up over and over and over again. And it got to the point where I was actually keeping documents with resources that I could cut and paste into to answer the questions because they seemed to be coming over and over again. And I was able at that point to say, somebody said a question that just set me off, which was, where do I read about being a single parent? How do I get all this information? And I looked and there was no place. Shocking.
Hmm. Amazing, Pat. I tell you, that's a great one you're doing for single parent, and I love the fact that you're so consistent doing it, and how effective your approach is. And that's amazing.
No,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're so. Yeah,
Now they have a place to read about it.
I tell you, you're such a great asset to this planet. Thank you. So I've got some questions here for you. Are you ready for me?
I am.
All right. So there is this particular one I'm so curious about. So what is PCIT and who is it for?
This is parent-child interaction therapy, and my co-author is a family therapist. I am not a trained therapist, and this basically involves ways to engage with your children. And there's some high-level thoughts in the book about how much time you really need to feel with a child for them to feel nurtured and cared for amidst all the other things you have to do. The more advanced the more advanced methods with that should be done in conjunction with a therapist. So you're guided through it. It's having a guide on the side there. Um, so this is an advanced psychotherapeutic term, and I think it would be great if you invited Jessica Ames, my co-author, onto the show, and she could go into it in more depth.
Mm,
They're maintaining the health of their family, usually neglecting their own health. And there's a lot of guilt as how much time they can interact with their children. Modern psychotherapy talks about children having the basis of their life is that they feel cared for and nurtured. What this is saying is you don't have to find hours in the day to do this. There are moments that you can do throughout a child's life, no matter what their age is. But children like to follow you around when they're very young. They like to help you do
yeah,
tasks. There's interaction on days where you're completely available, and there's days that you aren't available, but you can help children feel involved and nourished by continuing to say, well, we can do X, Y, and Z after we finish your homework, for example. But being able to let people know that you're there present with them at the same time, and they don't have to feel like they're being abandoned. We do talk a lot about a subject that gets left off a lot, and I'm glad you brought this up. There's a whole section in the book I wrote, the Field Guide for Single Parents, that talks about fun. For some reason, that topic gets left off a lot, and if you have kids, what fun is, it's going to the overpriced most of your annual income trip to Disney, right?
right.
but but it really starts small and basically can expand from your backyard to going to a national park 3,000 miles away. And by the time my daughter had gone to college, we had been to 47 of the 50 states. And why that was a goal for us was um, she'd come home from school one day and said, "Do you know here in New England, I live in the northeast part of the United States, we live in a bubble where everybody thinks the same, acts the same, talks the same." And so we started this journey, and this is a huge country where there's so many different cultures and people and ideas and ways to see what the rest of the United States look like. Europe was not financially in the cards, nor was Africa, I'm sorry. But we could get a lot of experience of different cultures for people who
Oh,
were here in the United States.
I tell you, amazing, amazing. I
But we
love
didn't
that.
start out that way. We started camping in the backyard.
Whoa, amazing. And I love that. I love that. And I feel like your book is a must read and must have for every single parent, I tell you, because you did a lot of findings, and you shared a lot of powerful informations in there. And that's really
Thank
beautiful.
you.
So what do you hope changes after reading your book?
What I hope changes is, first of all, people who are single parents and every parent understands that they really are fantastic, awesome people. They have skills that they've had to develop as a result of doing it on their own that makes them creative and collaborative. I mean, if you haven't learned how to be collaborative, your toddler would teach you soon enough, right? They learn that they're innovative. They have incredible time management skills. They can be better, right? We can all get better at these things to create more time when you have none. But these are people who have very, very strong skills. And I think single parents need confidence and understanding that they're starting from an excellent base and that what they need is somebody standing shoulder to shoulder with them that feels like, sort of the more experienced friend who's been there. The voices of those people from that 470,000 member community, my own experience, coupled with a lot of the people I interviewed for this book, can give them ideas on how to apply their awesomeness, both in their parenting and in work and earning money and saving money, that there is nothing they can't overcome at this point. And the different topics in this book, this is a reference book. There are 133 citations in this book. I wanted it to be fact-based, not internet-based. There's a difference, right? But like
Uh,
you said in the beginning, there's a lot of information out there, but is it quality and does it work for you? So this book, what I want people to feel is their pace they can go to start their journey to solve a problem.
so you mentioned money just now. So I wanted to ask,
Mhm.
when it comes to the financial aspect of things, what should single parent prioritize, as in financially?
This is a really good question in terms of a lot of parents don't understand the value of their time. So they do a lot of, quote, cost saving methods that really cost them more than the amount that they're saving. That's,
Mm.
it's a really important thing to understand is the value of your time. And there's a very quick little formula you can use to do that. But anything where you make more money per hour, we use that hourly rate here or day, whatever unit you use, and you can hire it out for less, then it's probably worthwhile for you to hire it out and put that time that you saved not into doom scrolling on your phone, but to be able to um, earn more money, get a better job, look into the process of what it would take to get a better job. So that it's basically allocating your time into the issue of money. Um, the United States is an extraordinarily expensive place to live. And it's extraordinarily expensive if you have children. And I'll give you the basis here in Boston, which is known as a high cost of living area. It, the number from MIT comes out. You need to make $120,000 a year as a parent in Boston in order to make a budget that balances. And that's primarily due to the high cost of childcare, which may or may not be an issue for you, the high cost of education, and the high cost of housing. Now, this is different around the country. We have many, many different economies within the United States. But frankly, you need to realize that here in Boston, if you don't have that kind of income and you have those kind of expenses, right? You're paying for housing, you're paying for childcare, you're paying for education, then you need subsidies. So make a list. It's an extremely fragmented social net here. Make a list of what you need. And when it's the next person who asks you what can I do to help? You say, well, you can help me look into these things. And don't be ashamed to do it because, they're there for a reason. As far as, the budgeting goes, we basically all know what that is. I'm not going to go in about how you spend less than you take in, because that's the only way you definitely get to save. But the first thing is to get yourself on a stable footing and be able to realize that there are ways for you as a person to take ownership of this and still manage to parent your children. You have
Awesome.
questions? It's a huge topic, right? I've got a whole book on it. But the place to start is understanding what you take in. And the second place is what you spend. And every single financial book that you read is going to say, track your expenses and your costs for a month. I say, go ahead and track them for a week. And then you can truly see what you're spending it on and how to reallocate it. Um, I used to teach a money management class. Really-
Oh,
And I tell there would be younger people just out in the workforce, and I'd say, okay, this is what you have to do before the next class. 50% of the class would check out right there. They wouldn't come back. But I wanted to show Pat what I spend my money on, you know. And I said, don't worry, I've probably seen worse, and I'm not going to
mm,
see it anyway.
mm. Amazing. I tell you, this is very important. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. So finally, Pat, to bring this to an end, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about the wonderful stuff you're doing, or make a purchase of your wonderful book, or even ask you questions, how can that be possible?
So to answer the second question first, you can go to pathankin.com. There's a website there. It is monitored. People do answer it. It's fairly new, but it does have some downloads for templates on things that we've talked about here. I think it's really important that people get a way to start that's not intimidating. The book is the Field Guide for Single Parents. It is a reference book. It has lots of white space, big print, short paragraphs. It's meant to be written in and to sit by your bedside table and dipped into when you say, oh, let me go see what Field Guide says about X, Y, and Z, right? Um, it's a place to start your solution to your problems, and everybody's situation is different. I am agnostic in this book as to how you became a single parent. It is there's many, many different ways this happens. And I start from the fact that you are a single parent. So, what I'd like to take away is have confidence in yourself that you can do this. Um, Abandon the concept of perfection. You know,
Hmm.
only one, we all know there's only one perfect being, right?
Right,
And,
right.
you know, give yourself a break, give your ex a break, give your family a break, um, and acquire data. Your opening line is there's so much information out there. Make sure the data is good and it's reliable and it's servicing you. And I'd like
Hmm.
to know that you achieve changes through small steps. The 15-minute parent, the finding a phone number for the doctor and putting it by the phone. Just small steps. Well, you can accomplish a lot. And
Beautiful.
finally, listen without jumping to conclusions.
Hmm.
That goes with going easy on yourself and everyone else. And just start. Remember the whole thing we talked about solving problems? Start by listening.
Amazing. This is so beautiful. Abandon the concept of perfection, taking small steps and listening without jumping into conclusion, and finally acquiring data. Oh boy, Pat, this is so beautiful.
This is an Elisha moment. Folks, this is an Elisha moment. I assure you, I've never met him before.
Oh boy, Pat, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It is beautiful. So can you repeat your website once more?
Surely, it's Pat Hankin, PATHANKIN. It's Pat at
Yeah.
pathankin.com. And the book,
Beautiful. Yeah.
would you like to see a picture of it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. I like the hard copy. You can get it in soft copy. Oh, does it come up backwards
Beautiful
there on you?
cover. Oh
Well, I
wow.
want you to
There we
know
go.
this is not a memoir. It is the only one exists. You see, you got lots of room to write notes
Wow.
on.
Wow.
Look,
Beautiful, beautiful. I
I
tell you.
know. It's got lots of templates in the back
Hmm.
and
Oh wow.
sources. There's a format on how to achieve your dreams and your goals,
Amazing, amazing.
steps to take. A lot of this stuff isn't new. It just needed to be presented in a way that works for
Yeah,
single parents. A lot of
exactly.
the advice out there, I'm a money expert, right? A lot of the financial advice out there doesn't work for single
Hmm.
parents. So
I tell you, that's so true. Oh, wow. So that's going to be the end of the show, Pat. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this wonderful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you, Pat.
oh, yes. And Happy New Year.
Beautiful.